Hey everybody, welcome back to Six Online, where we get to be playing games and talking with developers today. I'm here joined with Kevin Williams, Alchemist Joker, co-host for a couple of the segments. I'm filling in for Meg Kaylee. She needs to go and have a little bit to eat because I mean we can't have constant people just being in here. People got to take breaks, use the bathroom, do all the things. But are y'all ready to check out some more awesome games today? I know I am. It's been a great day today.
It has been. This is a game that I've actually really been looking forward to. We got to see this game at a different event, and I remember the first time I saw it, I was just like, I need this game in my life. I didn't know I needed this game in my life as much until I saw it, and now I need it. So I was going to go ahead and bring on the lovely developer of this game, KUR. KUR, how you doing today, brother?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good, thank you. How you guys doing? I'm glad to be here.
Doing great. Thanks for joining us.
Doing pretty good.
Of course.
So this game, like, what's up with it? What'd you do? Tell us about it.
Okay, I'll start off. It is a retro-inspired FPS game. So anybody familiar with like old school Doom or like old school Wolfenstein, Half-Life, anything like that, will be right at home. It's called KUR. It is a game where you play a space mercenary who gets a power boot, I'll say, and you can kick yourself around and kick enemies around. And all the enemies you face are evil AI that try to be human, I guess I'll say.
Oh man, so it's like, are they human and then they got infected by this AI?
Kinda, yeah. So the AI doesn't really know what it means to be human, so it really just sort of goes around killing everybody and like trying to be human. So they're like half robot, half human flesh.
Okay, interesting. So I think Alchemist is going to be playing it for us for today. Is that right?
Ooh.
No pressure.
Have you played this? Have you played it before, Alchemist?
I have not. I actually have been happy that I waited now, because now I'll be going into this completely blind. It's asking me if I would like to do the training level, to play the tutorial or skip the tutorial. But we don't need no stinking tutorials around here. We're just going to go right into it. Let's see if I regret that later.
I know I was playing a game at one point and the dev was with me and I'm sitting there talking to him and I'm just like, it pops up tutorial. I'm like, nah, I don't need a tutorial. And he's like, wait, okay, have fun.
That's okay.
I like to figure things out as I go.
That's what the skip button is for.
Oh, that's true. So going to hopefully be getting right into it. So what inspired you to come up with a first-person shooter?
It's actually one of my
Okay.
So I used to play a lot of Unreal and Quake, and you can sort of rocket jump in there. And so that's one of the really big inspirations for the boot and sort of the mobility it adds. So yeah, it's sort of just a passion project, I guess, something I've always wanted to create.
Oh, sweet. So I've heard through the grapevine that there's been a couple of people that's been playing it, and they surprised you at how fast that they've completed this game.
Oh yeah. So we actually did design some like speed routes specifically, but even with that all said, it was really shocking how quick some people were flying through this. We knew it was going to be fast because that's what we designed, but man.
Definitely faster than you expected. Yeah, the speedrun community, when they see a game that allows you to go fast, oh, they'll hop right on and they're like, how fast can I beat this game? 3 minutes? Let's go. No, it's not 3 minutes. I know it's a little bit longer than that, but.
Oh, yeah. That's what it feels like.
So what? Trying to think. Because I know I've played it before from, I believe, the last Six Online event. Have you made any improvements on the game? Any new upgrades or weapons or anything like that?
I would say no new weapons. We're working on a couple new upgrades that aren't quite ready to be taken out of the oven yet, but we've been doing a lot of bug fixing and polishing. We're working on things like translations and sort of just trying to balance everything and polish up. We do have a few other secrets coming that I can't reveal just yet, but there will be a little bit of additional content.
Oh man, is there? I forget. So the boot, besides using your weapons to shoot and defeat enemies, you can also use the boot to do certain things within the game. Have you thought about if the boot has like its own AI, if the character talks to it, or is it just a part of the character?
They still.
So it's we played with the idea of both. At one point, we actually, I don't know if we have them in anymore, but at one point we had some voice lines in for the boot, and it did talk to you. So that's not out of the picture yet, but we want to do it right if we go down that route. But yeah, that was one of our original ideas, that this boot was a little bit more than just some power upgrade you acquire, but sort of this sentient companion.
It's a sentient companion. Okay.
I would like my cakes, please. Thank you. Oh yeah.
So, can you talk about how you found your publisher, QAG?
Yeah, they are actually a local Seattle based publisher, and we ran into them at one of the Seattle developer events. And they actually really liked KUR when it was in a pretty early stage. So yeah. It was, it just sort of happened naturally.
Oh, cool. Did they reach out to you or you found them?
A little both. So it was like a developer event to sort of pitch your game to publishers and just sort of network. And they were there. And so, yeah, we happened to pitch and they liked it. Sort of, that was all.
Nice. So yeah. I believe I might have mentioned this before, but for other people that might be joining us in, you were on 6 last year. Some people would like to hear what you might have worked on from last year to this year, like the improvements, sound, audio, level design.
Yes, so pretty much all of those facets from the last time we showcased have been greatly improved. I think at that time we probably only had like half the levels done. So we are in early access now, and all of the levels are available. We're doing a lot of bug fixing, so a little bit of a different route than other games. We give you all our content, but we're fixing the jank. Don't worry. And so that's a big part. We're content complete now for the most part. A few secrets still coming, and we're just doing a lot of bug fixes and polishing. So if you haven't seen it since the last 6, you are in for a surprise, I think.
Yeah, I had one of the people that showed me that they speed run it. I watched them run through the game and I was like, wow, the game is so much bigger than the last time that I played it. So I need to hop on and give it a go, because I know when I personally played it, I struggled a little bit because I kept dying because I kept running out of ammo or not using my boot enough or not getting like certain upgrades at certain points. And it's just, I really like that juggle that you put within the game, because it makes you think of, okay, how am I going to strategize getting around this level? Because you have a lot of things floating around, things flying, things on ground, and they're just shooting at you and coming towards you.
Oh yeah. We wanted to sort of mix up those combat encounters. If you're not using that boot to keep enemies away from you or to kick yourself around, you might be in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah.
So
as I'm currently playing it, I'm in trouble.
He's in trouble. So are there things that you might have had to cut for scope when getting close to full release?
Oh yeah, definitely. And that's part of the reason we hit early access. We wanted to sort of gauge what extra little cherries on top we can squeeze in before full release. But yeah, there's definitely a few enemies, as most games go through. There's a few enemies that didn't quite make it, and a few levels that aren't in there, but that's okay. The game feels a right length now, so I think that's good.
Okay, so Alchemist, you said you're playing it right now. Are you going through the game?
I actually was just going through the game, but for some reason, it seems like it didn't want to grab my screen share. So we're going to do this one more time from the top with feeling to see if it actually
From the
grabs
top.
everything.
With feeling.
Because right now I am currently, I mean, I'm not upset about the fact that no one is seeing me struggle in this game because I got the boot, but I have no ammo. And I've also watched the same gentleman who Rick was just talking about play this game, and I now have a whole new appreciation for how simple he made this look because I am getting my behind whipped. So I definitely am gonna have to ask him like, yo, so how exactly did you make this look so good? Because I am not doing it.
Oh yeah, I think I know who you're talking about, and he understands the boot. He loves it. So yeah, I was surprised. I saw a few of his speed runs, and I was like, oh my god, he's just throwing himself around with that thing.
But I do love the ambience that you put within your levels because it's like it has the dark, grimy aspect of like Quake, but then you have awesome visuals out and about, like computer screens with little things going across it and stuff like that, and it's just it's so pretty. Oh, we got a trailer run right now. It's oh my goodness, it's so much fun. Yeah, just all the colors. Like you got red and pink, green, just going all over the place.
Yeah,
all that blue.
Towards the end of development, we started actually running out of colors.
Whoa. Need to get a kaleidoscope. Just go in there and just be like, what colors can I get?
There you go.
Was that a basketball being thrown?
One of the bosses is Coach, and it's a cool boss fight, which actually brings me to one of the questions I wanted to ask. And seeing a lot of this game be played, I saw some of the writing and some of the humor in this game. Talk to me a little bit about how you kind of went about like writing some of these jokes and like I know that your team is a fairly small team, so how do you workshop jokes when you guys have heard them 50 million times? Like how do you go about that process?
That's a good question. So my dev partner different in was a lot of shooters in general, and retro shooters are pretty serious, you know, like Doom or Quake. And so we just wanted to bring a lot of fun and just like silliness to it. And yeah, we sort of knew that we had like this sort of tongue-in-cheek humor we wanted to go for, and we didn't want to push it too far. But I think our voice actor really sort of helped nail everything down. She delivered fantastic, and it comes across pretty well, I think. So yeah, we just we didn't also want to do any too many I say pop references, as those can get old. Sort of keep our version of humor in there.
I forget. Now, does the main character talk?
Yes, she talks some, not too much, but she has some wittiness about her.
She
is
so the character that you're playing is a she?
Yes, it is.
Oh wow.
She is a woman of few words, a large boot, and much ammunition. She's actually one of the cool things about this game that you kind of get immediately is that the game starts up and she's talking to her let's say prospective employer, and he kind of goes like, you come highly recommended. She goes, I kill things for a living, and that just sets the tone for exactly what you're kind of getting into in terms of the humor. And one of the things one of my favorite parts about when I was watching the playthrough of this game is there is a point later on in the game where you are walking around an area that seems like it has a lot of businesses, and anyone who spends any amount of time on the internet will notice, you know, that some of the symbols have similar color palettes to companies you may know. But then you get to reading the names, and I genuinely am fairly certain that I had like coffee come out of my nose at some of those. Like, tell me how you kind of went about deciding how you were going to kind of play around with that.
Yeah. So the level you're actually referring to is sort of like the corporate headquarters, right? The people that hire you, right? And so in that corporate headquarters, we wanted a way to sort of drive that feeling of offices, without a whole bunch of cubicles for the player to walk through. So we were just like, all right, what if we just stick to our humor and just make fun of companies people already know? You know what I mean? And then everybody will get they're in a really big office building that sort of alludes to more. So yeah, we just had a lot of fun with that. We took a lot of tech companies, of course, as developers, but yeah, it was one of the more edgy levels, I'll say, in terms of those jokes.
So going back to the combat, because again, your heroine is not only a highly regarded killer, but she ends up getting this boot that ends up enhancing that. And one of the coolest things I loved about this game, there are certain ways that you end up playing that create like these kind of like combos of how you attack things, because you can go through just shooting the entire time, or you can go through and you can kick an enemy up into the air and then light him up with your pistols and then switch to a shotgun to hit someone else. How difficult was it to kind of like come up with that kind of free flowing combat, or was that something you guys set out to do at the very beginning of development?
It was definitely one of our goals from the beginning. We thought that was something that could make us look a little different than or stand out from the crowd. Is you think of a classic shooter and you go around and you jump around or you double jump and you shoot things, right? Maybe you have a dash. But we were like, oh yeah, this boot can offer something special. So what if you could just kick enemies in the air and before they fell you can kill them real quick? Sort of like I forget what that like disc putt or that disc shot is. And then what if you can just a lot of games have like barrels or crates, you can shoot it and it explodes, but we were like, we have a boot, how about you just kick things into other enemies, they automatically explode. And we just sort of played around with things like that, and it just ended up feeling really, really good. So a little bit of a goal and a little bit of just sort of we stumbled into it as we experimented.
So it looks like we have Richter's gameplay up right now, and he's about to go and experience the boots. There's a tutorial for this part when I was just playing it that kind of showcases just the amount of things you can really do with the boot. Because one of the cool things you can do is, you can just kick things, is obvious. But you mentioned earlier about like kind of like boot jumping and how that kind of is. I love that moment when you're like, I need to get through this door, boot, and there's a guy on the other side. How difficult was it to create the kind of boot jump, like knowing that boot jump mechanic was there? Was there any consideration that went into like, well, I'm gonna have to make certain ledges harder to get to, or was that something that kind of just happened as you started to see people play the game and you realized, this is something we didn't consider. I didn't know that you could make that jump with that boot.
Yeah. I'd say a little more of the later. We knew we had the boot jump and we knew it was a lot of fun, but we actually started designing levels a little bit before that really became a core pillar of the gameplay. So we ended up having to go back a little bit and add those ledges you can boot jump into and add those secrets you can sort of find, but only if you boot jump the right way. So definitely something I'd say I do better in like a KUR 2 or something, but something we worked on a little bit.
Oh, I see that you have energy. So energy is used to run and use the boot.
Yes.
How do you regain energy?
Kill things.
Kill things. All right.
This game incentivizes
I'll be on it.
Combat.
Oh yeah, and a few of our upgrades definitely incentivize combat as well. But your enemies being half robots, they just drop their batteries. Batteries included.
So nice of them. So nice of them to drop their batteries once I explode them. So we got a couple of questions from the chat that I want to bring up. One of them is from Probla, which is, are there any plans for multiplayer? Because this game seems like it's kind of tailor-made to expand into that.
That is something we've thought a lot about. No promises. It is something that we definitely want to do, and we thought about maybe just making like a standalone arena shooter with like the boot mechanics and things like that. You know what I mean? Because that would be a lot of fun. You can already sort of picture it being a little bit like Quake and rocket jumping everywhere. But nothing in the plans right now. You know, we'll save that for the future.
Gotcha. And speaking of that, Meg Kaylee asked the question that the game launched last month, correct? And they wanted to know how has your launch been? Like, what have you seen from the launch?
It's been going pretty good. We've got a lot of sort of dedicated fan bases. As you said, you know, there's definitely been a few speedrunners that have put a lot of hours and time into sort of just perfecting their runs, which has been really cool. And we've been trying to update the game, I think, every Friday. We've been, you know, including bug fixes and balance updates. So we're really trying to put some work into this and make sure for full release it's a smooth experience.
Now, as Rick deals with the head cracks, one of the things that I remember enjoying about this game a lot was the fact that you guys have a distinct kind of sense of humor. So even with, like, when you get your first gun, it's just, you know, pistol. But the akimbo, instead of being called, like, you know, twin pistols, is called akimbo pisties. Like, how much, like, was that one of those things that you kind of like wanted to showcase and you wanted to highlight, or was that one of those happy accidents where it was like, this is what I would call it when I played it, you know, when I picked this up in like GoldenEye or something like that, so I'm just going to transition the name across?
I'd say a little bit more of a happy accident. We really just had fun during the dev process and just sort of called things whatever we wanted. And some things just stuck, you know, and we were like, all right, let's just keep it. There's no reason we have to call it akimbo pistols or a sniper. You know what I mean? People understand.
Mm-hmm. Like the spider leg sword thing, which is the actual name, spider leg sword thing, which you don't know what the game, what you're getting when you pick it up. Like it's right on the package.
So I went to like a boost myself. Do I need a certain amount of energy in order for me to do that boost jump?
You don't. You actually just have to look down, kick the ground, and sort of jump at the same time.
Oh, okay. It's a double action then. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Because I thought I just had to just look down, use the boot, and then hit it, and it would do it. So okay, so I have to jump at the same time. All right, let's give it a shot.
Definitely. There's a little bit of a skill cap, and you might just try tapping the boot. If you hold it down, it does like this flying boot charge.
Mm-hmm. So another thing that kind of came up in regards to
okay, I did it.
There's a question: will there be a Mac port?
That's really tough.
Will there be a what?
A Mac port of this game, because, you know, with the game releasing last month, is there any plans for there to be like a port to any other systems besides PC?
Yes, we have plans to do a Mac and Linux port. Definitely by full release is what we're hoping for. Hopefully during early access as well. We have a few Mac computers. We just got to test the build and sort of get that up and running. But it is on the way. Yes.
I don't think he's going anywhere. He's going to be sticking around for a little bit.
I think he's going to be sticking around for a while. I yeeted that robot.
So obviously there's a lot of things that we kind of find funny about this, but what was one of the highlights of working on KUR for you so far, and what's one of your favorite kind of moments in KUR?
As a player myself, or that I've seen other people experience?
Both. I would like both.
Okay. Well, and what was the first half?
The first half is, you know, just like, what was the highlight of working on this game as a developer?
Oh, okay.
When you were working on it, what was that moment that you were like, this is it for me?
Yeah, I'd say actually early in development, when we had sort of the basic boot movement working, and you could sort of kick things and kick enemies in the air and things like that. We had a few of our like developer friends that run their own studio, like test the game, right? We had like a test party, I guess, and at that moment, people were like, "Oh yeah, like it's definitely rough, but this is fun." Like I forgot I was in a room here playing with you guys. This is fun. We were like, okay, yeah, we got to keep working on this. We got to expand on this. So I think that was my favorite moment during development. I'd say as a player, there are a few. Oh man, I don't want to spoil it too much, but okay. I'd say in the first half of the game, you'll run into a mini boss that is pretty much a giant fish with legs. And he is probably my favorite mini boss we've designed. He's beautiful. So as a player, I love running into him. I'm just like, oh, this is amazing.
He's like, sashimi, I've missed you.
Oh yeah.
So I'm sorry for the players at home. I didn't get to adjust my mouse settings, but I'm playing at 1600 DPI, so you might have to get used to it. But that's actually how I actually normally play first-person shooters at 13,000 DPI.
13.
But right now it's set at I play at a really high 1,300. So it's like I barely move my mouse, and like it's just. So I'm able just to like do quick turns, super. I don't know. It's what I got used to. All other players that I've talked to, like Counter-Strike players, they're like, "Oh yeah, I play at like 300 DPI." I'm like, "How are you even doing?"
Say that.
Just like I like to take my hand from here and move it all the way over here just to move this much. I'm like, no. I like to take my hand and do this, and I do a 360 spin.
So the other question I wanted to ask is because you said you've watched some players play this game. Are there any moments that kind of stand out in watching it? Like not even from a like, well, we need to edit that, but just as a like watching a player do something and go, okay, that was cool.
Yeah. There's been a few. The speedruns, obviously, of recent have been blowing my mind. But I think when we first took this game to PAX, maybe in like 2018 or 19, you know, the boot is something to learn, right? It's not a familiar mechanic in most games. And so I sort of went into PAX thinking like, oh man, people aren't going to get it, you know, it's going to be hard for people to pick up. But we ended up having a handful of people playtests that were really good, and one dude just sort of blew my mind. I think he was playing with a controller. We had like an early version of controller support, and he was just launching himself all over this first map. And I was just looking like, oh man, wow, you really got good with this thing. And he was like, oh yeah, I play these games. And I think at that moment I was like, okay, maybe the boot's not too hard to learn. You know, it's pretty rewarding when you get the hang of it and you get in the rhythm.
So you mentioned speedrunners. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I was gonna say now since I'm playing the game and I gotten used to it, I'm getting used to that jump kick mechanic now.
Oh yeah.
So you mentioned speedrunners. I wonder, like, if you were to see this game and say something like GD, Games Done Quick or something like that, do you consider that to be one of those things you'll kind of like look forward to, or will that be another one of those like, okay, well now I gotta look at a whole new list of things that I'm gonna have to add patches for?
No, that's something we would very look forward to as a dev team. That's something we've sort of designed in mind with from day one. We try to make sure all of our cutscenes are skippable. Any dialogues or anything like that, you can sort of just breeze right past and just keep sort of pushing through the game. So we definitely have speedrunners in mind. So I would love that. I'd love to see how quick someone can get their time down too.
Within the development of this game, like I know that you guys probably have some moments where you've been competitive yourselves. Who in your dev team currently has like the fastest time, and who has like the most like efficient clear time so far?
Ooh, that's a good question. I don't think we've done efficiency clear time yet, but I'd say during that PAX and a few months after that, I was speedrunning a whole bunch, and I think I managed to clear this first level in maybe like just under a minute. It's not officially like posted in the dev times on the game yet, but I'd say I hold the speedrunning record for now.
Okay. You hear that, people?
Now, said for now. It sounds like that's a challenge being thrown down.
Oh yeah, we actually have plans for some leaderboards pretty soon. So if everything goes smoothly, you guys can compete with each other on those leaderboards.
Ooh.
I kind of feel like I know a person who heard that, and I can just, in their mind, hear them going, that number one spot is mine. I am not giving it to anyone else.
Oh, yeah.
So I see that I have bouncing betties. How do I throw those?
So Bouncing Betty is actually the name we gave for this shotgun, I'll say. And it's if you shoot as bullets, you can sort of ricochet them off surfaces. So definitely very helpful in like corridors and things like that. Oh yeah, we try to give our weapons their own little twist here and there.
So piggybacking off of the statement about weapons, how hard? So we've all played first person shooters where it feels like, you know, there's no real variety in the guns. But from all the guns that I've seen in this game, the variety is incredible. How hard was it to come up with different kind of ways to create different guns and different guns to use within the game?
Oh yeah, it was definitely its own focus. We did a lot of iterations of the weapons, and we're sort of still working on them, trying to make them feel as best as possible. But yeah, it's something, you know, we sort of knew we needed the classic weapons, like the pistols, your shotgun, your assault rifle, but we didn't just want them to be that. At one point in development, I think every weapon like had their own special ability and upgrade they can do. Now they just sort of do their own thing. Oh man, Tiny Tim obliterated you.
And he had like that much life left too. Can we get some F's in chat for Richard?
Can we get some F's in chat?
Just that close to taking out Tiny Tim.
So close.
Oh man, this game is so much fun.
Down on you.
So, are there any plans to add additional guns or additional like levels in the future, maybe as just add-ons or maybe DLC, or is that something you kind of keeping under your hat for KUR 2?
We definitely have some plans just during early access for additional I say like secrets, you know, as far as like levels go. That's something still up in the air. We do have some plans to try to provide a few things for our speedrunning community, and maybe even some sort of like custom speedrunning arena stuff is in the works. But yeah, I'd say it all depends on how things go. You know, if it's something the fan base wants, we're definitely open to adding more. You know.
I still watch this game, and in my mind I go like, I know that my gun is important, but there's something kind of satisfying for just flying kicking someone across a level. It's just something about it just kind of makes you feel like, I don't really need these. All I need is good old size 12 here, and we can handle whatever comes at us.
Oh yeah. That's something we wanted to sort of keep in mind with our combat too. You know, the boot definitely use this genre to succeed in KUR. But on the sort of reverse spectrum of that, you can just be really good at the boot and not even need your guns. You know. So yeah, that's we wanted to give the players a little bit of freedom.
So Rick is getting his rematch against Tiny Tim here. But while Rick is getting his rematch with Tiny Tim, where can people find you and the development team like online? Like, where are you guys currently hanging out?
Discord. I'll post that in chat. You can follow us on Twitter at @ReallyRagdoll, and then just come check out our Steam community. We are, like I said, we try to update things weekly and stay really active. We try to respond to any bug reports, so we're on top of it.
Awesome. That's
Fantastic.
Good to hear.
And make sure that you go and wishlist this game or pick it up yourself. Maybe who knows, you might be #1 on the leaderboards, be able to take Kieran's spot since he's currently the fastest, because we haven't made that out to the public yet. But well, thank you so much for coming out and showing us KUR. Every time I've seen this game, there's something else that I see that I go, I didn't see that last time, and I know it was there, and it's so awesome. So thank you for sharing such an amazing game with us.
Hey, thank you guys for having me.
Being here.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Looking forward to having my name
fun
on a leaderboard somewhere.
Okay. I'm looking forward to seeing it.